dinner is still on afterwards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Andreas, would you say that the me is subject identified as object?
In a way, me experiences itself as a subject, but it's in a way another object, another thing.
And would you say like there is only subject or something like that? All there is
One could say like that,
okay.
but again, there were no experience of that.
No.
But in a way, there's nothing separate or nothing outside of that. There's nothing alien. There's nothing over there. It's just all what is. So one could say it's pure subjectivity, but without anyone having an experience of being that subject or that subjectivity.
So no thing, subjectivity, oneness, they're all the same nothing.
Would exactly be just other words for the same no thing.
Okay.
No. Or there is just this, or I am that, or whatever. But no one knows how the people who use those terms meant it. But often people, or what mostly happens is people assuming those to be a personal experience. But in a way you could use all those sentences as a description for that too. But then always with a... Then in a way you have to admit that it's that neither way it is meant as an experience of that sentence or that description. Because one could say as soon as there's an experience of being that, of being something concerning that, that would be the dream, the apparent dream, not a real dream, of course.
But there's no such thing as experience, is there?
Exactly. As there is no such thing as things anyway, including the setup of experience. Which can't be understood by that which experiences itself only in experiencing.
Can the one that experiences know that it's experiencing? Like, is there a thing that can say, "Oh, this is the case, so I know I'm experiencing"? Like are there symptoms of experiencing?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, for me, it's quite clear that it's experiencing.
What is it that makes it clear?
It just feels like that. I experience something, a feeling. I'm aware of something.
Okay.
I think, or it can become clear. Maybe to some people it's not clear because they don't focus on that. But I think it can be. It's quite simple, actually. I don't know, but.
But no one really knows that they experience.
I mean, for me, it's in a way daily life. I mean, maybe it can observe it or understand it. I mean, it's just its daily life that everything is something else than itself.
So it's just an apparent knowing that you're something, that you're...
Well, as I say, that's all it knows. I'm here and there's a room. I mean, that's quite. I don't know, but I think that's quite obvious for the me, or isn't it?
I don't know, because you can't put your finger on anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it looks not, of
Yeah.
course, it's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. If it inquires in it, so to speak, maybe if you mean that, yeah, it can't find itself, and it can't find.
I can't find any such thing as experiencing. I can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
But the one who's looking for it is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one experiences a real conclusion. Oh, I can't find it actually.
Mm.
You just said that the me cannot find itself, but when there is the conclusion, there is no me to be found. Whose conclusion is this now?
That's the thing. It's me's conclusion.
It's the me's conclusion again.
Yeah, or there is a conclusion, but me will take ownership of it.
But also the awareness would be getting aware of this, that there is no me to be found. That's the conclusion from the awareness.
Exactly, it's coming.
And become me.
Apparently, it's becoming from an awareness, like me observing something, and coming to a conclusion, and me will live with that conclusion as I know that.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not real. I've even seen it. It's not just I thought it well through. I haven't actually seen it that it's not there, but still now I'm back with that conclusion, or with that seeing, with that apparent seeing.
So that makes it dogmatism and doesn't help anything.
It doesn't help anything.
But
Or maybe there's the attempt to realize that in daily life, or to integrate that insight into daily life or something.
and there is no reflection about that if there is no me. If the me is dead, or apparently dead because it was never there, but there is no possibility about any reflection of that, because then
Me can even reflect that, but it will remain within me.
Yeah.
Me can think of it, me can to some extent understand it, or live in the illusion of understanding something. But
in the illusion of understanding something. Could you show me
no.
how or why I don't understand and didn't understand nothing?
There just isn't something to understand.
Because it's not to be understood. It's easy to say.
Because it's no thing. Sitting in a room in Ibiza cannot be understood because it is not a thing. And or it's not things. There is no circumstance that could be understood. It's just impossible.
It's
Understanding is illusory.
It's not a thing to be understood.
Yeah, it's
because
impossible.
it's not a thing.
Yeah, exactly, because it's no thing. There is nothing that can be. This can't be understood.
I have changed my place now.
And this doesn't need to be understood. It's completely happy without being sitting on a chair doesn't need understanding of what sitting on a chair is.
Yeah.
It's a bit like trying to fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's what me's trying to do all the time.
Yeah.
How do I get this right? It was never wrong. Yeah. So all the understanding me has about this is completely illusory. It's not that it understands to a certain degree. It has never understood anything. So the whole dilemma of me can easily understand that it will never find because it's there and it will only be separate and all that stuff, but all of that stuff doesn't really happen. So all the understanding is about understanding something that doesn't exist in the first place.
And if I ask you, I have now asked so many silly questions.
Oh no,
Yeah, well, but whatever. After all these questions,
I gave a lot silly answers. So
you give a lot of silly answers.
yeah, sorry.
I wondered if you said, you know, if you would have understood anything, you wouldn't have asked such a question.
No,
Would
I
you
don't
ever
expect
tell
that.
me that?
No, because there's nothing to understand.
Would
As
just
long
be,
as as long
would
as
it
that,
just be provocation or nasty or what would it
I wouldn't ask them. I wouldn't expect them.
I would say, but
As
I
long
didn't
as-
claim to have understood. I would answer. I didn't claim that I understood.
There was never wrong with asking. As long as there is someone, this dynamic will go on for as a story forever. As long as there is someone, there will be the question, how can I become one? And there will be no answer. Doesn't have to be in the meeting. There's no need actually and no expectation for this to stop. That's already it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no one is expected to get anything here. At
Yeah,
least
that's
I don't have that
It's good,
expectation.
questioning. It's like, for me, it's like cleaning things away. Ideas, clean it out. That's also an illusion.
Of course.
Because seeing clear, that's.
Well, what means an
that's-
illusion? That's maybe what apparently happens, but that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
Of course, that can happen. A cleaning out of ideas and a breaking together of beliefs, and yeah, of course. That's not the goal or something, but that can happen, of course.
I wanted to say something that your questions are silly, like you ask questions and it's like kind of like a mirror for me because it's questions that I would ask but they're not coming up or I don't think of it. But it seems like you ask all the questions that are there. So I appreciate it.
No.
For
Sometimes people say, you're asking my questions, and I think sometimes I'm asking somebody's question. I don't know, it just comes.
Well, I think it's everybody's questions, but you're good at asking them.
Questions are perfectly right.
Obviously, they are what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Could say
Well,
that.
Yeah, they come from nowhere. Or I don't know. Sometimes they come from.
right or wrong doesn't really matter in that. It just is what happens.
Yeah.
Is the me looking for what's looking?
Again.
Would you say the me is looking for what's looking, like looking for what's experiencing this? Because it assumes something must be experiencing. Well, do you know what I mean? Like
No, I'm
looking,
sorry.
like looking.
But why
for,
do you ask me questions about me? You wanted me to be really
Because you-
not talking. Yeah.
It's the me is looking for what's looking. Looking for the subject. Looking for.
That can be another method, or it's looking for all kinds of things, no matter what it's told to be looking for. Yeah, but it can also looking for itself, of course. That's some people tell. There are whole spiritual schools is about finding the self and finding oneself and see where's the looking coming from and all that stuff. Who looks and all that. Yeah, of course. There too, it never succeeds because there is nothing to find. No one ever found something
Because that's all there is, if you like.
because there is nothing. It would be just another a change of focus, for example. Not looking for that, it's looking for that. It's not looking for peace. It's looking for oneself. In a way, with the assumption of a knowing of what comes out of the inquiry. In that sense, it would be about knowing that I'm not, and to live then afterwards in a state of knowing, which is assumed to be fulfilling. If I finally understand that there is no one, I would be free or relaxed, or I wouldn't have to bother. Or and many people think that's, in a way, enlightenment. To look again and again and to somehow become close in that permanent, or in the seeing again and again of it. To become safe, not close. To become safe in that knowing.
Would you say that when there's a contraction,
There is no contraction.
oh,
But yeah.
it's like, what is assumed to be here, like this inside looking out kind of thing. It's like a false assumption. It's here. It's personal.
That's how it seems to be, that me experiences itself as at least connected to the body. Some people
But
have.
like, it's like, what is? It's like it's here. It's like
Most people think that it's here, it's actually here.
but like
Most people wouldn't say that's in the head.
this kind of spaciousness, that what's taken for space or what's taken to be is actually everything. But does that,
What's taken for space? I
like,
don't-
you know, what's assumed to be sort of a space around the eyes, or what's assumed to be space here, or what's is assumed to be that, but it's actually everything. Is that, you don't understand what I'm talking about at all?
No.
No, okay, don't worry.
Where is space? Where I just.
It's like, with me, it's like, if you use the word consciousness or whatever, it's assumed to be inside looking out.
Yeah, that's. I'm living in here.
But it's
Yeah.
actually impersonal consciousness, if you like. It's like, I don't know, something about the sense of spaciousness around the head or something.
I would say consciousness in that sense is a function,
Okay.
which isn't completely which is completely illusory, and there is no one conscious of there being consciousness. So you could use it as two things actually. Me lives in self-consciousness, which is the dream, which just dies together with me. It's the end of self-consciousness. But there seems to be consciousness as a function of the body, like seeing or perceiving. But when there is no one conscious of consciousness. And in a way, self-consciousness creates space, the sense of space, because it's the sense of here, of there being something, and immediately there has to be something around that. And that's in a way, the creation of space, which never was real, but then there can be a sense of space. I'm in sitting in space, in a way. I am is sitting in space.
Yeah, the I can create a feeling of space when needed, desperately.
Yeah, but it also just lives in space. You know, as soon as there is one, you have something around it. Then there's a there. As soon as there's a here, there's an over there. So it lives in space. It can be tight or wide or whatever, but it lives in space.
Most me's call it the world.
So to speak, yeah.
What did you say?
Most people say they live in the world, live on Earth.
I
Oh,
and
the
the
world.
world.
know what you're doing.
No.
That must be great for you. You feel good about it?
If I would be there to experience it, it would be great.
That would
Maybe.
be okay.
Or maybe I would. Maybe scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems to be very convincing.
What?
Seems to be very the experience of being somebody and living.
Yes and yeah. Yeah, but me isn't in a way convinced by it and could. It can't be anything else.
Yeah, it's just.
What apparently
Yeah,
happens,
so
and it's that. It can't see
Yeah.
through that, or it can. Convincing.
Yeah.
It sounds like as if it couldn't be convinced it by being me, but me feels like me.
Yeah, it's not
Period.
even it's not even a question of convincing. That's as if to say trying to unconvince it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Me isn't deluded by some
Mm.
strange idea that it's wrongly believing. Me, when there's me, there's me.
It
Seen
just-
from the me.
It doesn't even have to convince or not. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you ever get caught up in the head now?
No. But it's not always clear in the head. But
Killing.
Nothing.
Killing is bad.
Killing, bad karma.
raising to the next level. There is no one to be caught up, but thinking happens.
Functional thinking.
Functional thinking, but maybe also something that would be experienced by the me as too much thinking. Maybe, I don't know.
You still
Maybe too as a function. It's not fueled by me. There's no one thinking.
yeah.
But it's not necessarily permanently very cool or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's a real freedom, isn't it? Not to get caught up in the head in a way.
Yeah, no one living in reality with the thoughts. Yeah, you could call that freedom.
So there's more living in reality than living in the thoughts as such.
If you want to call it that, yeah. But living in reality sounds a bit like a state.
I mean, being with what is more than just what is more than living
Exactly,
in
there's-
another reality. Like
There's no one being with what is.
No, just what is.
Yeah. No one living in the dream of I am. But stories still happen.
But not in the head.
Well, also in the head.
Okay.
But there is no assumption that there is a real or a dream reality or that something that happens isn't it. So I'm not out of anything. I'm not, in that sense, present.
So can imagination still happen?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Or, yeah, I think so. Yeah, of course.
Daydreaming.
Daydreaming, I don't know. Again, no one gets lost in that. But imagination too seems to be just, I mean, it's not becoming dull, you know.
It can still come up, imagination out of an old conditioning, and being projected at someone, and have the idea about this person and see this
Yeah,
person.
of course.
Everything still happens like that, apparently.
Yeah,
Like it used to.
what happens happens.
It's the character.
It's what apparently happens.
Yeah.
What apparently happens can be an apparent old conditioning and an apparent acting out of that apparent conditioning. But of course, there would be no one there experiencing that. And experiencing that as a reality, that
As a
that is
reality.
coming from an old conditioning, and that shouldn't be. No, it's just what happens. I mean, conditioning apparently happens, obviously.
But getting, there's no reflection about,
There can also be reflection about,
and think, oh, I'm,
which would be just it, not for anything, but
and not for anybody,
not for
and not to be feel guilty about it or anything,
No,
but still
maybe
to
just
see I was off with that.
maybe just as another apparent function of being human.
Yeah. Mhm.
It seems to be everything is just what apparently happens.
Sorry?
It seems to be everything is just what apparently happens.
Of course, there's nothing else. Yeah.
Profound.
Mm.
There's no,
As if there's actually no, it's just what apparently happens. There's no real person there. It's just what apparently happens.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, one could say so. Yeah.
It's just every question we're asking you, you're just saying, "What? That's what apparently happens. That's what apparently happens."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's no doer, is there? There's not.
no.
Yeah,
There's a
no.
sense
Neither
of
here
oneness
nor
in-
there.
There's a sense of oneness.
Of
in
course
that.
not.
Yeah.
There's no sense of oneness.
Or
there
it is oneness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no one knowing or sensing or experiencing that it's oneness. That's not needed at all.
There seems to be no significance in it.
Of course not. No,
Yeah.
there's no significance in what happens because it already is everything. It's already whole and complete.
Mm.
It's not significant because there is no one there for whom it could be significant.
Mm.
so everything happens apparently by itself. You don't need to say thank you.
No, of course not. Nothing is needed.
Nothing is needed. It would just be an old conditioning, say thank you, and it would be fake, or maybe, I mean, not
No, maybe it is just
polite.
it just is what apparently happens.
It is what apparently happens.
Thank you. And when it's apparently out of an apparently old conditioning, then that is what happens.
Yes.
It's
yes.
neither right nor wrong, nor it just would be as it is.
Yeah.
And someone else might be, yeah, thank you. Or not.
Like your
Or
son.
thank you. Oh, thank you. That's it. There's nothing else. There is no more enlightened way. There is no more enlightened possibility to this. That's the dream. all there is how it is, and as it is.
Yes, we have been so much conditioned I was conditioned amazingly to, my mother always said, you're playing theatre, and I did that professionally, fuck it. And she said, you're exaggerating, you're just imagining this. When I said about feelings, no, you're just imagining that, you're exaggerating and all that. And don't make that face. What kind of a face you're making? So I always kind of had to act something else.
Yeah.
That's the conditioning.
Yeah. That's an apparent conditioning.
The apparent conditioning. But where were we at? Because that made me saying this. Because you say there's no reflection, it's just that what happens. Okay, then
Actually, I said
is
that
what happens.
Actually, I said there can be reflection, but reflection wouldn't be anything else than what apparently happens. It would already be it. It would just be life. Noticing that after 40 years, I'm still saying thank you in the polite way.
I just thought that I would just
Some things never change.
Sorry.
So true.
it's an illusion again. I just thought,
I mean, just
if
when
there is no me, I would be straight like that.
maybe.
No play acting. I mean, for fun, sometime, very in a way conscious, it happens like that. But hiding myself behind a mask, which is maybe conscious, that would not happen anymore. But that's not true.
No one knows. I mean, maybe, but you can't say it like that in a way. Because in a way, yes, the tendency to play a role seems to crumble together with I am. But it's not that all of the conditioning suddenly ends.
It's like what I said to this other.
Conditioning in that sense isn't something bad. It just seems to be part of being human.
Yeah, well, many people get conditioned like that.
Everybody has a conditioning. Everybody has an ego. Everybody has a personality. Well, no one has it. That's the dream of me, that I'm having a personality on which I can work, or that could change, or that I have a conditioning, and actually the conditioning is what makes me unfree, which is the complete dream. In that sense, there is nothing wrong with the conditioning, as painful it may be.
Yes, it's like.
And change is all in that sense possible, but it cannot be done, and it isn't needed.
Cannot be undone. It is just. It just happens how it may fade away. This energy may withdraw slowly, as we said in another situation with the psychic and medium mystic stuff. This is there. You work with it, and more. In this, with this non-dual, whatever, I don't call it teaching now, this, I feel this energy kind of is withdrawing, It's withdrawing from the psychic stuff, from the art stuff. It's like the energies, it's changing in a way, it's being withdrawn.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what apparently happens.
Until there is.
What?
Until there is what? No.
That's
one.
too much. No, until there is. That's what apparently happens. That's it. There's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
No.
So, Jesus said, you shall come in front of me naked like a child. What does this mean?
I have no
What is
idea.
it? You don't know? You don't think? It means without distortion, without hiding, without games. True, is that just a Christian trip?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do you mean you won't enter the kingdom of heaven unless you come as little
Can you
children.
speak up a little? I can't understand.
Who knows what that
Come
piece
to me
is?
like as little children. Is that the one?
Yeah,
Come to me
naked,
as little
naked,
children.
Oh, I don't remember that piece.
naked, like symbolic
Yeah.
as a metaphor. You know, I understand.
It's just like leave everything behind, just come as children, I think, without thoughts, without just
Yeah,
like
without
naked.
thoughts,
Without
without
thoughts.
being true, being without
Just, yeah.
distorting yourself.
Yeah.
In the end,
Without a
without you.
mask.
Without the me.
Maybe he meant small children. So just
Yeah,
come
that's what he
without
meant.
you.
Without the you,
Come without you, and what's
Yeah,
left is the
true.
kingdom of heaven.
Without ego.
without the me.
Yeah.
Without ego, yeah, without
It's a
the
lot
me.
of expectation for the Jesus to say, you, if you come to me, you already be
Yeah,
without the
as I said, Jesus reached this step afterwards. He said it. He reached that on the cross. So it's a bit like teaching before. Maybe it was kind of a spiritual master or something.
He was a master but not enlightened.
He was awakened, wasn't he? And then
I don't know what he was.
wasn't he
Jesus
awakened?
Baba.
He was awakened.
Probably he
when
was
then he was
awake.
teaching.
Yeah.
And then he was
Teaching.
finally liberated on the cross.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teaching and
So he
giving
didn't-
methods.
Because when he was
believing
being
God.
baptized, didn't when the Holy Ghost descended? I think that was the sign of the awakening.
One could make that
And
story
he
up.
had the glimpse about and then he was teaching.
Exactly.
He was finally liberated on the cross.
Yeah.
And then the resurrection was like the the liberation.
So everything he wrote, he said, is basically a teaching. Like if he was liberated on the cross.
Yeah, I mean, where was his teaching when he was shouting, "Father, why have you left me?"
Yeah, Father forgive me.
Which he didn't get a reply. The reply was just death.
Why hast thou forsaken
God wasn't
me?
shouting at him, "Here I am."
No, and the apostles deceived him. Everything went to shit. Like the apostles deceived him and was crucified.
Exactly, everything
It's
went
like-
to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything broke. All the good life I built myself up.
Yeah. Everything fell apart.
I also thought that he had I don't want to say understanding. Maybe he was anchored in this no. There is no thing. It's just that he was talking to simple people, carpenter, fishermen, not educated like this. All these academics here. You know, that's what I thought. that he wouldn't talk. If he would talk like you talk now to these people. I mean, anyway, that's not only what I saw. That was told by Osho like that.
Yeah, sure.
Did you go to Osho?
It was just
Yeah, I was there many years
Yeah.
ago. I was initiated 76. It was at the start. Wild paradise. Yeah, so let's leave that.
I mean, one could say if you try to become an innocent child, then it wouldn't be an innocent child.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So it's another story. In a way, another precondition that's not really needed in that sense.
Why do you say that to me? Do you think I'm trying that?
No, but you were asking, that was the first question about the children
I was asking
thing.
not that one should try, I was asking that what I expected for myself from this without me. When the me dies, that I would be like a naked, truly straight out, without any conditionings from all times, without any mask or distortion. That was my delusion, my idea. It's not that I try to be like that, but well, maybe.
But in a way, being conditioned and being as one is, in a way, is being naked.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
being as one is in a way to be,
Mm.
even with all the conditionings, because
Absolutely,
that's what
yeah.
is.
Absolutely, yes.
We got it. You got it. Great, thank you.
But in a way, it sounds still a bit like a personal state. Actually, that's what naturally happens, because one could say what apparently happens is innocent like a child. It
Yes.
innocently just is as it is.
It's innocence, yeah.
It's for nothing. It's not. It's not pretending to be something else than it is. It just is what it is.
Great.
So.
yeah.
That's so funny. That thing because example there is very hard seeking and same time it's seek. So funny paradox.
Mm. Yeah, it can
So
be.
always.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed
Can-
the end bit there.
What keep that illusion on? There is no illusion and
Yeah.
nothing to keep that
Yeah.
on. It's just
I mean, one could say in the end, what's a little bit the mean thing seen from the me is that it's no thing itself keeping the illusion. No one is doing the illusion. It just the apparent illusion. It just is what apparently happens. No one or nothing is keeping it actually on.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's torturing itself.
If it would be real, yeah,
Yeah.
one could say so.
No thing is beating itself up.
Yeah.
So what's this meeting about? Okay.
What?
Just like some what?
There's a meeting?
What's the question?
What's the meeting about?
In 3 words.
It's not about anything, because it is everything.
The meeting is everything.
What apparently happens is everything. And what apparently happens is the meeting. And
Right. Okay.
can't be about anything, because there isn't anything else than what happens. So it's not about liberation or something.
It's living in a state of constant not knowing.
Absolutely. Yeah,
It's
what?
the only.
What is the state of being?
No,
me
it's
or-
like seeing that as soon as you try to know anything, you're fucked basically.
Yeah, of
The
course.
me is there, like it's.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to know. Yeah.
There's
It's not-
suffering. As soon as you try to know anything, there's suffering.
One could say so. Yeah.
So
It's
without
futile.
yeah.
Wanting to know something is one method of the me, which is futile. It comes actually already from a suffering or from an apparent separation. Yeah.
Without the me, it's just in just not knowing anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anything at all.
Not only not knowing, it's in a way not experiencing anything.
No, there's nothing experiencing anything. It's
Exactly.
just what is.
Yeah.
Experiencing a lot of it.
Exactly. Which automatically, in a way, deletes the knowing, because then there is nothing there anymore that is experienced as something which could be known.
Mm.
If there is no one there, no one,
Yeah.
that's timelessness.
Yeah. Not as a state, but there is no time.
There is no time.
It's not a state of timelessness.
There is no state of time.
It's not a. Yeah.
That would mean that this, I don't want to say expansion,
Because there is no
because
expansion.
it's always what is.
No, it isn't always what is, but
But because I thought there should be,
it's
Shouldn't there-
timeless.
it's timeless.
Yeah.
But then, isn't there a perspective, no perspective, no perspective of overlooking overlooking future, everything?
I didn't understand that. There may be an apparent perspective, but I think that's not what you meant.
No, and not the perspective is maybe not the real thing. I just imagine standing here, looking at one scene here,
Yes.
this scene, that's all, only what is. But standing timeless, you overlook everything.
No, not at all. No, I'm not someone having a great overview or something.
Having what?
an,
Great
an
overview.
overview. It looks like maybe, but not really. Not really. No, of course, it's not seeing anything. It's not understanding anything. It's not no clarity about something. Not at all.
Well, the other thing is probably
It's
again,
no stepping back, but it's not viewing things. You know, just as you showed it, this would be the the separate experience. I'm here and I'm looking at a situation, a thing.
it has to do again with the esoterics and magic and all this yoga stuff more, I guess.
This would be
where it
an
will be
idea
dealt
that
with this idea.
I could reach a state of clarity where everything is clear, whatever that. And I think it's not not even well thought through, but it sounds good.
Then
Absolutely.
everything, you don't have to expand in order to view other whatever planets.
No, of course, I don't care.
Everything is here already. You get all the planets because it's already here. That's all esoterics. and magic.
Absolutely, yeah.
It functions, it works if you go for it, but it's not what it's about.
No, of course not. It's all within the dream. In a way, one could say apparently overlooking the simple beauty of what is.
Yeah. Magnificence. Calling it panoramic view.
Mm.
Panoramic view.
Mm.
Seeing the whole movie of all the scenes.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I don't know anymore where it comes from.
Yeah.
Like living in a virtual reality almost, like not real, but it's
Absolutely. It's completely not what's actually
it's like
happening.
watching a movie and then going into it, like you know, like watching a film and then actually being in the film.
Yeah.
But
as a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, really.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you watch a movie in the cinema, it's a really good movie, and you kind of, you know, you almost become one of the characters. This is kind of what this is. It's like a movie that we're watching, but we're actually so immersed in it.
One could say so.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
Mm. It's like living in a complete dream. It doesn't exist. What me, the whole thing just doesn't. I experience something. A room, a world, a situation, chairs, that. It's just completely illusory. But for me, it's only real. It's like two realities. It's like an own reality. Me and I experience something, and all that reality does is to operate within its reality, never leaving it.
And there's all these different realities going on, the different me's. That's what's really mind blowing.
Yeah.
That it's actually, you know, like that oneness can apparently experience all these separate realities and interact, and to make the movie seem really real.
Mm.
I know there's no reason for it, but it does appear, apparently, that some people don't ask a lot of questions about this.
Yeah, most people. They just live happily seeking and working on their life.
So are they luckier?
No, because there is no one.
I know, I'm just being facetious.
In a way, the questions are the same for those who are living their lives, and not maybe sitting here.
Yeah, one could say it's the same setup.
Yeah.
It's the same setup of me trying to get my life done, and with the assumption that in the future something is waiting for me, or that it leads to some better. But they have more construction sides in a way. Job, career, family, partner, whatever. To get a happy life done. To do a happy life.
They have a lot of agreement, like from everywhere. You know, from the television and from, it's like everything is supporting their belief system. I'm not saying there because I'm not separating myself. Like
Yeah.
I don't have these belief systems.
Yeah, that's what apparently
But
happened.
somewhere I started questioning it all, not believing it, the belief system. So if you're in the completely believing the belief system, even though I'm as much a part of it as they are, there's so much support to this belief system and magazines and
Yeah, of course.
everything.
Yeah. So, me might try to step out of that, believing something else. But yeah, of course.
Or not believing anything. I mean, yeah, believing some things, but not.
Which would be another belief system,
Yeah.
actually.
That's true. That's really true. When you said that, I thought of a particular person who's just constantly rebelling against everything, or a few people I know, and it feels just as unreal to me.
Of course, it's taking just another attitude. It's another attitude to deal with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To feel superior.
For example, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of
It
course.
makes
Yeah.
people feel
They,
superior.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because in a way, a liberation or freedom isn't really about believing or not believing things.
Or doing anything you want either. Like I take as many drugs as I want, I do this, and it's just, that's
Yeah,
not freedom at all.
This would be an idea for personal freedom. If I'm free, I can do what I want.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Me fails. Yeah.
It's just death to what is, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Or there just is what there is.
I mean, for the me, it's just death
Yeah.
to what is.
It's just death. Exactly.
Yeah,
Nothing
just
special.
No other
big,
way out. It's just death. It's got to die.
No big insight or understanding it. It's just
death.
Yeah.
No other option but to die.
Yeah, which isn't really an option, but yeah, of course. Yeah. Fortunately, there is no one there who has to die, so it's not that bad. It's just it's.
But if the me is telling me that, it's not real.
Sorry?
If the me is the one telling me that, then it's not real.
Yeah, but there is no me.
Yeah.
I get this feeling that, this morning I said something about not having felt much of kind of responsibility as a mother for a child. I don't know what was right in it or not, but what I feel is that I was just like dream walking through life, like dreaming, walking, dreaming, Schlafwandering, Traumwandering,
Yeah.
Schlafwandering, yeah?
Yeah.
And so if the me is dead, it has not to die because there was no me, but the illusion of the me is fallen away.
Yeah. But
Dream walking goes on, or what? Because you said you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but one could say, one could say it's indescribable. It's just indescribable. But yeah, the dream of me, the dream of being me, doesn't get replaced by a clear me, or by someone seeing as
Awaken me.
Yeah, exactly,
Awaken, yeah.
exactly. But this can't be described
It's just
because there is, in that sense, no one walking anymore at all. Walking through a life.
through the dream walk. There is no one that walks the dream walk, but the dream walk is happening apparently.
Life apparently seems to continue, but for no one. So there's no experience of a life continuing.
No experience of a life continues.
Yeah.
Is there a feeling of knowing?
No.
Never.
Or maybe sometimes an apparent knowing or understanding is what apparently happens, but that would just be no thing appearing as that. I seem to understand that tomorrow is Wednesday, or whatever that means.
Party day.
No idea.
It's
For
party
you,
day in
maybe.
Ibiza.
Wednesday, okay.
Mental.
Because would you say that when you said that, seem to understand that tomorrow's Wednesday, but on the other hand, the other side of it, there's no possibility of Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Or the
Because
next
there is
minute.
absolutely
second.
because absolutely.
There's no second, no time.
Yeah. Or yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
But it wasn't really about the time thing. One could say, apparently I seem to understand that this is a table, which is completely illusory, because there is no table, because there is no understanding of a table, because that just is what apparently happens for no one.
So you're saying that it's illusory because there's no understanding of the table.
And there is no one experiencing a table.
There is aliveness, lots of aliveness. There is liveliness, lots of aliveness.
Where?
There where no one is. There where no one is left. There is pure aliveness. It's not that there is no one living there.
Yes.
There is aliveness.
All there is aliveness.
All there is aliveness.
Just as another word of no thing. But there is not a sense of aliveness.
I just was wondering, because I misunderstood this word aliveness. I was wanting to ask you, how does it feel, or how do you sense this aliveness?
No.
Is it energy, a bunch of energy?
No, it doesn't feel anything. There's no experience of what is.
No experience.
There isn't what is and a separate experience of what is. There just is what is. And it's somehow, me can't really understand that, or me can't access that setup of experiencing isn't needed at all. Because me, of course, is absolutely, all it needs is an experience of wholeness. So it can't comprehend at all that setup isn't needed.
Your wholeness? Wholeness? Are you wholeness? I don't say holiness, I say wholeness.
Just as much as you are.
Yeah.
Or just as much as this is. But of course there is no experience of me being wholeness. In a way it's speechless. It's just a word, wholeness. It's no thing. Which is another word.
Just going to say, because the me is the experiencer and the doer.
Exactly.
And once that's gone, you cannot be an experiencer or a doer or an experiencer.
Absolutely. Yeah. The illusion of experience takes only place for the me. Or I experience something, so to speak, is the dream. So the death of me is the death of that complete setup. And what's left is what is.
So there's nothing really to die. There's nothing real to die.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing really present. The I'm alive is illusory.
You can't even say reality dies because there's no real reality.
Exactly. The dream of reality dies, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Nothing ever was real. It was an artificially added setup. that there are things that are real. There never were sofas, there never were chairs, there never was a
Yeah.
room,
So,
there never was a mitre,
What there was, never was when?
there never was he or me.
so nothing important happens.
Of course not. But it's all it. It's all everything, or whole and complete. But it's not important in the sense of that it's important for something else.
Mm.
Because in a way, for something to be important, it needs something which is important for.
Yeah.
This is important. This could be important for my enlightenment, or this might be seen as important for the world waking up, or for something. But it cannot be important in that sense, because it already just is everything.
Importance is for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there has to be a story of time and goals and stuff like that, when there is meaning or importance. But in a way that doesn't diminish it. That doesn't this make less.
Yeah.
It's whole.
Yeah.
It just doesn't need
Yeah.
a separate importance or
Yeah.
content, meaning or importance.
Yeah.
It's completely not important. No one cares how that is.
Mm.
In India, they would address you, where there is no one. Your honorable Andreas. So, honorable.
Yeah.
That means, I don't know what the Indians mean, but that's what they say. It's just kind of devotional approach, I guess.
Yeah, that might be seen as another approach.
As a devotional approach, I would
Yeah.
say.
They might see my true glory, but
They might what? What is
True glory.
Oh, the glory. The halo.
yeah, it would be it's just another mind setup around that issue.
When one doesn't know what to say, how to say it. Maybe. It's like, the word guru. And Satguru, and word of guru, Satguru, and master and teacher. Yeah. It's always different understandings of the teachings and where one can arrive or where someone has arrived or no one is at. So this gives different names or approaches towards this.
Yes,
I guess.
but these are all dreams.
Yes, it is to me when I hear it a bit strange or painful.
What?
To hear that when they call someone like that, they give these titles or this. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah.
Hmm?
Poor guy.
I didn't understand that word.
Oh well,
Poor
doesn't
guy.
matter.
No, it just happened to people I knew from our generation, or so to say, So I wondered, is that now accepted by this so-called being or whatever? Or is it just the people around them who give these titles, and he cannot defend himself and say, "Don't call me like that," or so.
I mean, in both, because in a way, one might apparently always say, "Hey, no." That doesn't have to be an indulgence in that guru story. But of course, me, to some extent, might always think that there is something special. But
He thinks that always, yeah.
at least to some extent, which is a complete dream. But I have the impression that this whole thing wouldn't happen here. It's just impossible, I would say.
Yeah, maybe in a way, in a positive way of joking, or not like when I go like this or so. This is a greeting, yeah. But anyway, I was thinking of how much some people or some beings get influenced by that. When they get addressed like that they kind of change slowly. So, but I mean, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
It's not a question.
Yeah.
It may be a challenge for these beings, and they have phases, and get aware of it.
I don't know. I mean, you can look up how I look in 10 years. My golden dresses, and flowers.
And your Rolls Royces and your cars.
Exactly, but I'm pretty sure I would have to change the message for that.
Yeah.
You would have to change.
It doesn't happen here. It's impossible.
Seeing
There's
people
nothing to
becoming-
surrender to. It's just not there. This whole game,
Yeah.
it just couldn't happen.
Seeing people becoming dependent, even needing them dependent, or agreeing to that.
No, yeah,
Thinking that's needed, or I don't know. So it's what apparently happens.
Yeah, of course. I don't assume me to become a great guru.
Well, the latest thing, because I was asked to do this festival here in Ibiza called Rise Up, and it's very ultra spiritual, and there's all these teepees out there, and it was every teepee had different shamans coming all the time, and then it was so funny, because I was thinking, God, like shaman, thought about, I don't know, like 100 years ago or something, these people that actually were part of a tribe, and they were the holy men in the tribe and cured people, and I had this very whatever feeling about what is a shaman, and then it was so funny because it was just like anybody could be a shaman. I mean, I met them, they came to my stall to buy clothes and stuff, and everybody was on their phone, and
It's a
they weren't
profession.
particularly polite or anything.
It's a job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I didn't feel any passion or true beauty or something.
But even if
something very ordinary, which is what I look for. I look for something very ordinary, and it wasn't there. It was like,
it sounds
oh,
actually
well,
pretty
now
ordinary to me.
everybody wants to be a shaman.
Yeah, I don't know too many people actually who want that. But
Here on the island.
yeah, there's no. It's just
Something to do with ayahuasca.
Nothing to
I
do
think.
with that. Yeah.
Now with other drugs they're bringing in from South America. So now it's cool to be a shaman.
Mm.
Just to let everybody know if you want to be cool.
Yeah.
I think my ex-husband is a shaman now.
You know what?
My ex-husband. Because he was at the festival, and he came and he said, well, I'll talk to you later, I'm invited to be with the shamans, you know, it's like, okay.
Skip the shaman. Sorry, but
In the story, in the dream, lifting someone's energy in a certain situation of illness, maybe chemotherapy, that is kind of tough, then lift the energy, apparently, so all this can, in the dream, work from the healer, I guess, sometimes can be useful in the dream. That's how I see a shaman. But like the artist can make an ego trip out of it. The ego. But we've left the shaman.
sorry.
But we have left this shaman story. So control can happen.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
There is the idea.
Even control happens totally uncontrolled.
Yes. Sounds dangerous. Could you please control your control? There is an expectation, I guess that's about the teachers again, it has nothing to do with this, that when you want to show or tell people something and maybe encounter them, but from a place where you're not,
From personal.
or obviously, not person, that the aura should be clean, you should be free of your own rubbish. And I guess that means truly the me needs to be gone. Otherwise, it's fake. It's not.
Yeah, but
That's what is meant with this, probably.
But yes and no. I mean, one could say for this meeting to take place as it is, there should be no me there, but that doesn't have to mean that every rubbish has to be cleaned out.
Yeah. No.
I think what this actually comes from is from a personal teaching, and the assumption that the teachers should be clear of any side intentions or anything.
That would be a teacher like a preacher.
Which, as long as there is someone, this doesn't happen, because then there will be any intention. There will be some intention.
Yeah, it will not be without intention.
It can't be,
Absichtslos.
yeah, that can't be.
Absichtslos.
Yeah.
Absichtslosigkeit.
Yeah,
So this is coming from Absichtslosigkeit.
absolutely.
Unintentionality.
Yeah,
or
there's
is
no intention here, yes.
This is so nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's
More
nothing,
than nice.
there's nothing to get, that's why this is all there is. There can't be intention, I have nothing to teach. I'm not a head, I'm not a teacher or a guru. There's nothing that I want to show you. Not at all. There's nothing that has to be seen. There's nothing that can be seen. So this whole setup doesn't make sense. The whole guru-teacher setup doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
But it's beautiful and touching.
Absolutely, yeah. It's freedom.
So that's why we come here.
More.
For this.
Yeah, one could say that is what's actually been sought. This. There isn't anything else. That's it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Good thing or start.
So we're not actually seeking this at all, are we?
No.
Because it's
Yes
just
and
already-
no. Yes and no. One could say me even seeks it, but when it notices that it'll die in that, it seeks for its survival. It seeks this, but as an experience of it.
You can't seek what is.
Yeah, so me
Yeah.
doesn't really seek that. It seeks something,
Yeah.
while all there is no thing. But it doesn't matter. So
You can't reach conclusions and
yeah, or me can't learn to seek in the right place, because the end of the seeking hasn't anything to do with the seeking, let's say,
yeah.
where the focus of the seeking is.
Yeah.
So you can't seek in the right way,
Yeah.
which would be just a question of me. What is the right way? Which method should I use? Where shall I seek in order to find? That completely doesn't matter.
There's no clear
Seeking, yeah.
You couldn't write that. You couldn't develop what actually is he's seeking for. You couldn't actually write this down and say that's the way it is.
No, there's no
Yeah.
prescription, exactly. Or there is no knowing about how it is.
There's just going to pointing to it.
Which in a way already is an apparent pointing. There's no, yeah, I can't point to it.
No, I mean like verbally.
Yeah, apparently. Because the mere pointing to already is it. That's the pointing, so to speak. The talks with Andreas is it. It's not a pointing to it, but it's no thing apparently appearing as a pointing to it, but it already is it. That's the pointing one.
You're never out of it, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is no thing, but the saying itself already is no thing. The words.
And the me is it saying it isn't it.
Exactly. Me is sitting here and lives in the dream. I'm here in order to get something that I might use in my future happiness. Completely overlooking that this is all it is. Sitting here, question, answers, for nothing. That's how it lives.
You can't see this, is it? Can you? It's
No, we
invisible.
can't see. No. No, never. This is it can't be seen. It doesn't have to be seen. No, it can't see it. Because immediately the thing was, yeah, but I have to get it in order to live with that and the future, enlightened in the future of the future.
Something that's not real couldn't get it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an imagined thing can't get anything.
Yeah, exactly. There can't be a real finding for something that isn't real in the first place.
Only an imaginary.
But it would be another imaginary state within that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Me seeks for real fulfillment in something that isn't real at all.
Me seeks for fulfillment in something that's...
Me seeks for real fulfillment in something that isn't real at all, or for something that isn't real at all.
But then, I seem to sometimes, I get sometimes the impression, here things are going on and I figure out or think now I figured it out, but then actually I get this impression it's working from somewhere else, like from the back or something. I cannot overlook this, but something is happening. I don't know what it is, what's going on, but it's like suddenly an impression that something which I cannot grab is going on, but there is nothing going on really. Would you say? You would
Yeah, in
say
the end, what me might assume is there is something going on that I don't get, but the assumption is that there is something going on.
That's from the
Some mechanism, some greater mechanism that I don't know. It's actually like an idea of God,
maybe
There is something running that's not me.
subconscious. For me, it's like something. It's like for the me so much and the subconscious so much indefinable, not knowing, unknown, and not as God, just as my imagination of in a moment, like a unknown part of me, of the me, an unknown part probably. Forget it. Dream.
So can me can't Me can't know this is about its death.
No, of course not, because then it wouldn't be dead. Then it would still live.
So no one knows this is about death then.
No, of course not.
Mm.
No one knows I've died. Yeah, of course. Knowing dies together with I am, or it's only me living in self-consciousness, which could be said as a knowing that I live.
Yeah. Or even if me knows that this is about death. It's dead.
It can't deal with. Yeah, me can't know that it's dead.
But obviously, yeah, it wouldn't be there.
Exactly, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be there anymore. Yeah.
Still no.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dream. That's what it hopes in a way when it meets that message, that I can die and afterwards experience that. That I experience my death. But that's really impossible, because in dying, what dies apparently is the experiencer. It's the end of experiencing something.
You're talking about both deaths, the physical and the me death.
Yeah, me death is in that sense the only death. Because me is the only thing that experiences itself as alive. That's the only alive life that there is in a way. Apparently it's not really there, but the dream of me. I live. I have my own little separate life.
Well, yes, it's just another, I have already spoken that out, this assumption of this one, that while there is still a me on this planet and not died, but
Fortunately, there
The
is no me
physical
on the
soul.
planet. Yeah.
and the physical, so-called physical death, if there is still a me, not having had a death of this illusion of the me, would go on dreaming out there. That's I'm not totally
Like the idea of
ready to drop this
rebirth.
idea.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter.
No.
It's just different point of views.
One could say it would just be another idea of me continually living.
Yeah, that's like when you train mediums, the spiritualists, they would say, some just don't realize that they're gone yet. They're out there,
Yeah.
and they get some help or whatever. And Osho,
I like that. Or sure.
Quote.
I would say it is beneficial to bring people to the burning gates and burn their bodies, so they really see and go into shock that they are dead, that they are gone. You know, it's as a shock. You know, when your body gets burned.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it doesn't matter.
In a way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as there is someone, there will be someone, and when there is death, then it's over.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
So you can't come to terms with your debt or settle into your debt or
No one is settling in. It's so out there.
give up.
No, me can't give up.
That's what I mean.
Therefore, it must be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll always be that. That'd be me coming to terms with its debt.
Me, I'm.
Coming
me,
to terms with your debt would be somebody coming to terms with their debt.
Being okay with it.
You mean the physical death at the end?
Well,
What?
whatever. No, I don't. What I talk about here, I don't never mean physical debt.
So say again, I just don't understand. Didn't understand.
It's not that good of a question.
No.
Me can't come to terms with its own debt.
No, of course not. No, because as long there's me, all it knows is I'm alive. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Death cannot be known. Absence cannot be known.
Absolutely. Death to the me is me.
So there will never be a recognition or a knowing of now I'm in a state of absence. Absence, as it is described here, in that sense, isn't a state. It isn't the counterpart to presence.
Yeah.
It's not two things actually, because in a way, presence is illusory. So in that sense, one could say absence is illusory too, but it's not a state of absence.
Yeah.
But this can't be understood.
Fine.
It's not logical. Yeah, of course, but
Yeah. Even if I seem to understand,
no, you don't. Of course, not.
obviously, skip. Yeah.
It can't be understood.
Did your family and friends notice any changes in how you interact with them during and after your death?
Hardly. No. Close family members seem to be a little bit irritated.
Because he didn't have a regular job?
No. Actually, that's why they are very busy with, because in a way it's the first regular
no, that's
job,
what they get
but
irritated about.
they can't really say it. It's weird.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to name it.
Would they be irritated because you wouldn't react so much anymore, maybe?
No, I'm reacting more peaceful, not more peaceful. I'm reacting more handsome as I
More
didn't.
Andreas.
Yeah, than before, but
More loving, no?
they maybe
More real.
more. More. It's for sure. It's more.
It's volatile.
More something.
It must be more in some way. But
Well, I was really wondering a few times when I hear your son jumping around, if you never get the idea, I hope he doesn't hit his head out there. What's going on? You don't have this there.
yeah, I hope that my partner is there. I count on that, of course.
Count on that.
Yeah, but she.
If she wasn't there, he would be worried.
Yeah.
You would be alarmed.
Of course.
Yeah, probably.
Should hope so.
No.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But your family, I mean, it is a curious situation that
Yeah, because
they must want to be around you more in a way because you're more attractive. I don't mean like you said handsome.
more of that.
We're all
It
around
has
you.
to be, but it has to be because you're exuding, you know,
I know this
power.
bright, shining, all
Power
loving.
and sympathy and you know certain gentleness and they must feel that it doesn't change all the time. It's not like you're moody, like you go in one day and you're in a bad mood because your car broke down and then the next day but you know there must be some, what is the word?
Benefit, advantage.
Hmm?
Benefit, advantage.
Are you saying there's more of an evenness?
Yeah.
No, more uncalculable.
But where other people don't have that,
Yeah, tell me how I am. Until now I like it.
where other people don't have that, I mean, in the street or you know,
Who
go in a
says
shop.
Like he has more to offer. You have more to offer than.
Yeah, there's more
Yeah.
feeling to connect, connection, subtleness, gentleness.
Maybe the boys should give these feedbacks.
Huh?
Actually, that is now not how I would describe the meetings with my parents.
Okay. they feel personally still that you're
I have-
theirs, you belong to them.
I have the impression, but I don't know if it is like that. I have the impression that there's an irritation going on because there is no sun anymore. Though
Well,
the
that's what I mean. You
the
don't
behavior
belong to them
though the
anymore.
behavior is like that, and I have the impression that actually there's an irritation going on about that. So for them, it's not pleasant to be around me. They wouldn't be able to name it. That's just my impression. There is something they can't grasp, and that's not necessarily not that they feel bad all the time,
No.
but I have the impression that they are not happy with that. I have the impression that my mother, for example, she felt more safe when I was seeking
Yeah.
and I was unhappy, or that I had an issue in a way.
Yeah, you needed her
No,
more. Or she might have been
no,
passionate.
I was actually, I'm more nice now,
Yeah.
but I
I'm
wasn't
sure.
needing her. I was not needing her. It wasn't nice for her either, but it was at least something. And now that's really weird because, well,
It interests me because
I'm not unhappy anymore, but actually my life is somehow not as she wanted it to be, but me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
She's
details,
a
but
mother.
But I think, I mean, she looks up the website and she reads that stuff,
Cool.
but not for herself. She wants to understand me with that. And she's completely irritated by people coming to me, and she thinks, of course, these people understand me.
Does she think you're loony, like a bit crazy?
Yeah.
But actually, since a long, that doesn't go together with that. That most of that.
Do you think there could ever be like a desire to have a relationship with another dead person?
The idea,
The necrophilia.
there might be the apparent idea.
But there would be no relationship.
Yeah, there would be no relationship, of course. Which there isn't now too.
I asked Claire one time, the wife of Tony. I asked her one time because Tony's so vivacious, and I said, well, do you ever get jealous? And there are girls, like really beautiful girls that come here and they want to be with Tony. And I said, do you ever feel jealous, or do you feel jealous that he gets so much attention and you're kind of standing in the back? And she thought about it. She had to think about it. She was, just doesn't come up.
Hmm.
Wow, that's so cool.
I think he talks about her a lot in meetings anyway, and it's really apparent that he really loves her, just when he ever talks about her.
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I once met an old friend, or he, after 10 or 12 years we haven't met, and because I left without saying anything, the area where we live. And a few years later he rang me up, he accidentally found, or maybe he was looking for me, I don't know, he found my website and just called me up and we went out for a beer. We sometimes meet, maybe once a year or something. And we were meeting again, he just said, "Oh man, you are just like all the time. You didn't change at all. What you do, I haven't watched the video, didn't understand a word, but that fits to you. You have always been crazy." Okay.
That says it all.
Just the same old dude, or whatever. I don't know.
The way is right.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nothing changed. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.